Hey guys, hello. It is IFBB Pro Roxy Beckles here, and I want to thank you so much for joining me on this webinar today. I really hope that you take away something really positive from our discussion, and you're going to have a chance to answer questions and just get some advice as far as whatever is on your mind when it comes to your health, your fitness, and achieving your goals. Before we start, I want to go over just a couple of technical things. I don't know how many of you have ever done a Google Hangout before, but in order to ask questions, you're going to want to look at the top of your screen and look for a little icon. It looks like a square, and that square looks like it's comprised of other little squares. When you click on that, you're going to get a sidebar that has two things. One thing called the showcase, where there are links to my social media, my websites and stuff like that. And then there's also another one called Q&A. And you're going to click on that one in order to ask any questions that you might have. And throughout the broadcast, you can ask questions all throughout. And what I'll do is at the end of it, I'm going to go and see what you've asked and answer your questions and just see where I can help you out. So this webinar is probably going to be about an hour long, and it's for you. I love sharing information, and I love doing this kind of stuff. So welcome. And for those of you who may be watching this a little bit later, I'm going to go ahead and post a link for you. There are a couple of things I do want to talk about in my showcase. If you're interested in working with me for coaching or anything like that after our broadcast, look in the showcase and you can check out my website there. If you're interested in working with me through my membership site, you can get pre-designed meal plans. I've got we release workouts on a almost daily basis, new workouts, training schedules, and a great community of support. I'm there every day lending advice and helping people put together their plans. It's kind of like a guided do-it-yourself approach to your training and nutrition. And that site is my Rockstar Fitness Inner Circle, and that is right there on the side as well. If you are not on my mailing list, which you should be, the link for that to sign up for that is there as well. So take a look in the showcase and see what I have to offer. If it works for you, then that's awesome. Go ahead and contact me. So I have a couple of slides that I'm going to be showing you. So we'll do like a split thing where I'll be on screen talking, and then I'll also be on presenting you with some slides of information and stuff where you won't see me, but you will hear me. So let's get started with that. I hope you guys are having a great afternoon. So let's go ahead and just jump right in. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And we're going to go start with this presentation that I have right here. So let me get this going. Okay, so today's webinar is Finding Your Discipline, how to set yourself up mentally for fitness success. And I am IFBB Pro Roxy Beckles, and some of you know me and some of you don't. Some of you are totally new to who I am. So let me go ahead and just give you a little bit about that. So I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. I currently live in Los Angeles, and I moved out here in 2008. Initially, I was in the performing arts. I was a dancer. I'm a former professional dancer by now, but I danced professionally for about 10 years, but I've been studying dance my entire life. I studied at the Alvin Ailey School in New York, where I earned my BFA degree from Fordham University, two prestigious institutions, and I have always been involved in health and fitness. I've always been training kind of as my side gig, my money job. So being in the industry has always been something that I've been passionate about. I have been doing this for 17 years, and this year I'm actually going on 18 years as a trainer and a fitness professional, and now as an online coach. So it's something that that's just always been a part of my life. I started competing in around 2010, and I've always loved bodybuilding. You know, I've always been really like fascinated by the sport. Since I was a kid, I would watch those competitions that came on TV, those ones you see on ESPN. I used to devour muscle magazines and stuff. So I have always had a passion for the sport, and 2010 was the perfect time for me to start competing, so I did. I started in figure. I ended up turning pro in 2013 at Team Universe, and that was in women's physique after I had switched over. And so far, it's been great. My first pro season, I ended up on the Olympia stage, which was just a dream and a goal that came true. And actually, it's funny. In 2013, the year before, I was in the audience sitting there watching it. And I was there with a friend, Margie Martin. She's another IFBB pro. And we both said to each other, okay, bet, we are going to be on that stage next year. And lo and behold, we got there. So that was an amazing experience, and I look forward to hopefully, repeating that again over the course of my career as an IFBB pro. And my passion is for helping others to reach their fullest potential through diet and training. I've always known since I was a kid that my calling in this life was to inspire, was to help others, and me being able to be a part of this industry helps me to fulfill that. And what I love about what I do now in the online realm is that it provides me with the opportunity to reach as many people as possible. So this webinar today is a part of that, and I can't thank you enough for being a part of it. So yeah, so hopefully, you take something out of today, and you have stuff that you can apply today. So the purpose of today's webinar is just to educate you on a sane approach to your training goals, to inform you of some proven tactics that lead to success, things that I've noticed with my own client base over the number of years I've been doing this, things that I know have worked for me as well. Although I'm at the level that I'm at, I have struggled like you guys. I have gone through trying to find my motivation. I have gone through those times. So I'm hoping to be able to inform you of some tactics that have helped my clients and have helped me as well. And of course, I hope that you get out of today's webinar the feeling that you want to just inspire to be your personal best, inspire you to your personal greatness. So any questions that you have during this time, please ask them. Once again, if you look at the top of your screen, for those of you that are just joining us, there's a little box, and it looks like it's comprised of other little squares or boxes. Click on that, and on there you'll see a Q&A tab, and you can go ahead and ask your questions, and we'll get to them towards the end of our webinar today. So I have a mantra, and a couple of my clients have heard this, especially during their low points. And it's something that I want you to keep in mind during this webinar today. And that mantra is, in order to be successful at this process of body transformation, regardless of your goals, you must embrace who you are in the present, all while looking diligently towards your future. Now, what does that mean? So many times, if you hear people say things like, oh man, like if I could only get this 10 pounds off, I would just feel so great. Or they look at themselves in the mirror, and this happens a lot with women. You look at yourself in the mirror and you're kind of like, gosh, I hate this part of my body, and I just look so this, and I'm just not happy with that. And if I got this weight off, oh my God, it would be so great. But honestly, guys, you have to be comfortable in your own skin, and you have to be comfortable now, here and now. So in order to be successful at your goals, you have to embrace who you are. If you are already on the path and you have had some great success up to this point, embrace it, celebrate it, and see the things that you like. Don't look at your faults, look at your positives, and focus on that as you move towards where it is you're going to end up. So this mantra is going to show up at various points during our discussion today. It's a very important thing. So just keep that in mind as we go along. So let's jump right into the first section of our webinar. And section 1 is all about setting realistic goals. Goal setting is the cornerstone to achieving what it is that you want to achieve. And the thing about goals is that you want to keep them very realistic. Setting your goals too high and too lofty will only set you up for failure. So there is a little, what is this? Like a saying over here. I'm losing my words. But you want to keep your goals smart goals. And SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. So when setting your goals, think about that. Give yourself enough time to be able to do what you want to do. So think about keeping your goals realistic. Let's go ahead and take a look at each of these points: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. Our first point that we're going to talk about is specific goals. So in order to set your goals should have a meaning that drives you, and one that is not just like some general statement. So I get to talk to a lot of my clients. I'm like, hey, what are your goals? What is it that you want to do? Number one thing, I want to lose weight, right? Great, awesome. That's a great goal to have, but it's not specific enough. In order for you to truly achieve what it is that you want to achieve, you've got to make sure your goals have a purpose behind it. So what I like to say is, instead of saying you just simply want to lose weight, I want to lose weight by committing to the gym. How are you going to do it? Committing to the gym, by cleaning up your diet. I want to lose weight by increasing my water intake and staying consistent on my path to a better me. Having a specific goal makes it tangible. We always want to make your goals tangible. And in doing that, the discipline comes with it. The discipline to stay on the straight and narrow, no matter what. If you fall off, if you have a slip up, if you couldn't work out, this, that, the other, life happens. But if you have that specific goal, you will never go astray. So keep that in mind. You want to succeed at this game, and being specific is one of the first things that is going to help you to attain that. Our next point about goal setting, the SMART goal setting way, principle, measurable goals. M, keeping your goals measurable. So what does that mean? When you keep your goals measurable, they're tangible. They become tangible by attaching a number to this, or a marker for progress and success. So I kind of am the type that hates to set a number as far as scale weight. It's very deceiving, because the thing is that what if the scale doesn't budge and you're losing inches? What if the scale doesn't budge? What if it goes up? Because that happens sometimes as well. What if the scale goes up and you're still progressing and you're looking good, you're feeling good, you love what you see, but the scale isn't going how you want it to go? So I like to say, even if you set, let's say, a weight goal that you'd like to lose, don't get totally married to the idea. At the same time, attaching something that is measurable can help you, So let's add on to that goal of I want to lose weight, making it specific and measurable. I want to lose weight by committing to the gym, cleaning up my diet, staying consistent on my path. One of my motivations is so that I can fit into my favorite pair of jeans or that dress, and to lose about 10 pounds. So we put the number in there that helps to keep it a little bit realistic for you. But at the same time, we keep, by saying about 10 pounds, or just keeping it so that way it's not something that you feel like if you don't get there, you will fail, is a better way of going about this. So keeping your goals measurable, something that you can see and touch over time. Very, very, very important. And once again, guys, if you have any questions during this webinar, please ask them. Click on the icon at the top of your screen, the little square. You'll see the little Q&A tag. Click on that and ask away. We'll touch base on all of your questions towards the end of our broadcast today. Moving on to the next point. I keep on saying the word attainable because it is so important. Keeping your goals attainable, specific, measurable, attainable goals. Your goals must be realistic. Setting the bar too high can and will set you up for failure. I mean, that's just it. I'm sorry to say it. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. So when you hear people say things like, okay, I want to lose 5 to 10 pounds in the next week or two. Okay, honey, let me tell you something. That's not going to happen, okay? And if it does, then you're likely losing a lot of muscle, and you're likely going to extremes. You're likely setting yourself up for failure, because there's no way you can sustain that kind of effort it would take to do that and do it over the long term. And it's just not a healthy way of going about things. So keeping your goals realistic. If you think about, let's say if we're talking about fat loss here, and I go back to fat loss a lot because it just happens to be the topic that most people are interested in, getting leaner, looking, more toned. I hate that word, but I'm going to use it anyway. Looking like an athlete per se. And so I always default to fat loss, but the same thing goes for lean building as well, keeping your goals realistic. Oh, I want to gain 10 pounds of muscle in the next the 2 months. Come on now, if you're gaining 10 pounds of muscle or 10 pounds of anything in 2 months on a lean build, honey, I'm gonna tell you something. You gain maybe, if you're lucky and genetically blessed, about 2 pounds of muscle and 8 pounds of fat. So don't do that either, okay? So keeping your goals realistic. Keeping them realistic is the surefire way to keep it as something that you can stick to, and to keep it as something that you can actually achieve. And that's the important thing about goals, something that you can actually achieve. Next point, moving on to relevant goals. So relevant goals are things that are important to you, okay? So you can't do something for someone else. You can't go on this journey of body transformation, whether your goal is fat loss, whether your goal is lean building, whatever it is, to be healthier, to get to the gym or whatever. You can't do it because somebody else told you to do it. You have to do it because you want to do it, because it's important to you, because it is something that you will fight for, to truly work to attain and to make it happen. It has to be that thing that you have a burning desire to see it through and to see it come to fruition. Relevant goals are so important. I think that of all of the points of the principles, the SMART principle of setting goals, relevant goals are the most important, because it is the driving factor, and it will be the determining factor whether or not you decide that, oh, life is too much and I'm going to quit. No, if this is important to you, you ain't gonna quit. You ain't gonna stop. You're gonna keep going. So keeping those goals as something that you know that you can achieve and that are important to you is very, very, very important. Our next one, keeping it time bound. Set an end date. Putting a timestamp on your goals helps you to keep your eyes on the horizon, and it keeps you motivated to continue pushing through to that end date. So, going back to, let's say for someone on fat loss, okay, I want to lose some fat, and I would like to lose about 10 pounds, and I want to fit into these jeans again, and I'm going to do it by way of going to the gym and being consistent and following my meal plan or eating in a way that's healthier. And I would like to attain this goal over the next 4 months. So setting an end date, very important. It keeps your eyes focused on the road ahead. And that isn't to say that once you get to that end point that you can't do something else, because you can. Once you get to that end date, you can take a look to see where you are. Did you reach that goal or not? If not, okay, regroup, regather, and start again. But have an end date in mind, just to be able to keep yourself focused on the road ahead. I tell you what, when I coach both online clients who are competitors, and I coach those that are also non-competitors, and I do find that when we attach an end date for those who are not competing, or not even an end date, rather I call them cycles, and I'll say, okay, we have a 16-week cycle of lean building, and we're going to try to attain this goal within the 16 weeks. I feel like when clients know that they have that point, they work hard to try to bring about the best change that they can in that time period. So you don't have to have an event. You don't have to have a competition. You don't have to have anything. Remember, this is relevant to you. So setting that date can just be another layer that ensures that you fulfill that goal. And our next point about goal setting, write it down, make it real, make it tangible, make it something that you know, that you see, and that it's in front of you, and that it's in this world, is in this universe. Because putting in writing makes it real. It brings your goal to life by placing it here right in front of you, where you can clearly see it. I write everything down. In fact, I even have notes right now in front of me to make sure that I know that I'm getting across the points that I want to get across with you guys. Write your goals down. Know what they are, sleep it, breathe it, eat it, make it a part of who you are on a daily basis. This is your lifestyle. You are changing for you. So make it real and make it something that you really want to do and carry out. So I feel like when I see people who follow those basic steps, those basic principles of keeping SMART goals, they are the ones who end up the most successful. And at the end of the day, guys, please remember this one thing. This is a lifestyle, okay? This is a lifestyle. It's not solely just about a beginning and an end date. Those can be little challenges to keep it fun for you, of course, and to keep you on the straight and narrow in the present moment with your present goals. But overall, to see the best change, you need to commit to this being what you do and part of your habits. It's just your way of life. And you might have to change some things, and that change is going to come, and it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable at first, but commit to yourself and make it something that you just do because it's just how you are. You know, I had to make a lot of changes in my life to get to this point, you know, where I am physically. I have to eat a certain way. I have to train a certain way. I don't care what happens in my life. Stuff comes up, I don't miss the gym. Stuff comes up, if I'm in contest prep, if I'm dieting, I don't mess up my diet. I might have to tweak, I might have to do what I have to do, but I make it my lifestyle. So I encourage you to do that as well. And I promise you, when you do, you'll start to see things moving in the right direction for yourself. Now, once again, if you guys have any questions whatsoever, please remember to just go ahead and go to the Q&A section and just start typing your questions, and I will answer them at the end of the session. I hope y'all are doing okay. We have some good timing, so we're moving right along on schedule. So let's talk about section number 2 in today's discussion. So I'm very big on this when it comes to nutrition. So we're trying to find our discipline when it comes to achieving our goals, right? So one of the things about discipline comes from the diet. Nutrition is the name of the game. You can train till you are blue in face. You can train until the cows come home. But let me tell you something. If your nutrition is not on where it needs to be, you're not seeing any changes. Sorry, that's just the way it is. So, but at the same time, remember this one principle, the 90-10 rule. If you comply to your plan 90% of the time, the 10% where you have not doesn't have as great an impact on your overall success. And that's been proven. I'm not making this up, okay? So the 90% that you are on your plan, the 90% that you are following your diet, let's say you are out and about and you had to go out to eat, you couldn't make your meals. Okay, fine, it doesn't matter, that's part of the 10%. You'll still be on track, you'll still be where you want to be. Let's say you want to have a glass of wine or something or two with dinner 1 or 2 nights a week. It falls into that 10% because 90% of the time you're still on it. If you want to have a little bit of ice cream, go on and have it. 90-10, and that also ties in with having free meals. Guys, you cannot be 100% of the time. I have clients who come to me and they're all like, Roxy, I want to do this, and I'm serious about my goals. I want to make this baby happen. I'm ready to commit. I'm ready to do it. And I'm going to be 100% on my diet, 100%. And I'm always like, whoa, honey, slow it down. I don't need you at 100%. I need you at 90. And the thing about it is that setting yourself up to be 100% at your diet, at almost anything, and I'll explain what I mean by this in a minute, but setting yourself up with that kind of focus can actually shoot you in the foot, because now you're aiming for perfection. And guess what? Ain't nothing in this world perfect. Nothing is perfect. So for you to set yourself up for failure is not good, because what happens when you are not 100%? Now you're feeling guilty about falling off your plan. Now you're feeling guilty about eating 5 extra almonds. Now you're feeling guilty about eating a piece of fruit. Come on, you know what I mean? Like, give yourself a more realistic approach when it comes to your eating. Allow yourself some freedom. And when we talk about freedom, I like to tell my clients that even though a majority of them have a meal plan that they follow, being able to sub foods out, being able to switch things around is important as well. Don't get yourself locked in. That's part of that 90-10 right there. Enjoying your free meals, enjoying a cheat meal. We don't call them cheat meals in my practice. We call them free meals because I hate the word cheat meal. Enjoy it. That's part of that 10%. So finding ways to make this attainable and to make it work, that is the most important factor. You know, diet is absolutely everything. And following that 90-10 rule is probably my number one thing that I encourage everyone to do. And let me just backtrack for a minute. I said to you that aiming for to be 100% at anything sets you up for failure. And I don't mean that in the sense that you shouldn't challenge yourself, because you should be. You should be challenging yourself and you should be aiming for that 100%. But in the back of your mind, you know that if I do have a mix up, it's okay. You don't freak out. So that's when I say that, that's where I'm coming from. I'm not telling you not to set the bar high. I want you to set that baby, heck, the sky is the limit. And forget the sky. There's a space and universe. The universe is the limit. So make sure that even though you do set the bar high for yourself, you do keep it realistic for you. Okay. All right. We're doing great. I hope you guys are getting a little bit of something out of that. Remember, if you're just joining us, please enter your questions into the Q&A tab, top of your screen. Look for that little square. It looks like a little other little squares it's comprised of. Click on the Q&A tab, ask your questions, and at the end of today's broadcast, I will go ahead and answer those for you. So let's go ahead and move along to section number 3. Finding your motivation. Finding your motivation. And this is probably one of my favorite topics. And honestly, guys, it's really easy to get discouraged when you're not looking at the big picture. You know, it's really easy to kind of just to have a myopic view, to be focused on the now, instead of looking at the entire process. And when I say the entire process, looking back at where you started, you know, on your fitness journey, to where you are today and where you want to be in X amount of time. Remember, you set up your SMART goals. So looking at the big picture, I feel opens your mind up and it opens your spirit up to being okay with where you are and staying focused and staying positive, because these are the things that set people up for success. It actually is the divide that sets apart people who fail at this game and people who don't, or people who succeed rather. Okay, and honestly speaking, guys, I mean, I've been through this. In fact, just to get a little personal here, quite recently, I was in the middle of my prep, and I was I'm gonna turn off my camera here so I can see y'all and talk to you. So I've been in the midst of contest prep, and I've been prepping now for, Jesus Christ, it's been like 10 weeks now. And this is my next season here for 2015. And I went through a little bit of a weird thing. I don't even know what to call it. Like, I was kind of unmotivated, and I was kind of like just nervous about whether or not I would get to my goals, and whether or not I would look the way that I want to look. After I had a pretty rough season last year, for those that follow me, it was just like, it was all over the place. So I had some trepidations going into this prep. And at some point in the middle of it, I lost my motivation. I was just like, what am I doing this for? Like, what am I doing? Like, I just want to eat popcorn and go to the movies. I want to go out on a date. I want some wine. I want to be normal. I want to be normal. And I was just kind of like going through the motions. But what I realized in hindsight is that I was just wallowing in my moment. I wasn't looking at the big picture. I wasn't looking at how far I had come up to that point. And I wasn't looking at the future of what my possible season could be. So it took a minute for me to kind of just step back and to see where I really am. and where I could be if I only opened myself up and if I got off my keister and started to work. For me, when I get like that, because this is a lifestyle, I don't fall off the wagon. You know, I still trained. I still went to the gym. I mean, some of my workouts were really crappy, but I still worked out. And I still ate my diet the way that I should. And from being on the path and never coming off, things started just falling in place, and I was able to take a step back and really clearly see what was going on with me and say, Roxy, you've come a long way, girl, and you've come a long way in a short period of time. You're going to throw all of that away just because you're going through your own mental mind happy? Are you kidding? So I got myself together and I started putting the effort back into the gym. I started just going in there, putting on my music and just rocking out, clearly seeing throughout every workout, clearly seeing where I want to end up, what I want to look like. And I tell you, by opening up my view, by not being so wallowing in my own stuff, I was able to get back on track. So I know a lot of my clients, they go through those moments as well. And I really try to encourage them to keep going. This is normal. We all go through it. And 9 times out of 10, they pull out of it. So that's a really important thing that I want to share with you. Stay on the path. Open your eyes. Look at where you came from and look at where you're going. Look at where you are today. Embrace it and stay on it. So let's go back to the slide for a minute. Once again, guys, please ask any questions that you have. I'll get to them in a second. So, just gotta close that up. Getting over a motivational funk, another one of my favorite topics. So how do you move through this, right? So we've all been there. How do you move through it? Just like I said earlier on, when it comes to your goals, write everything down, right? Grab a notebook. And I encourage you actually to keep a notebook, keep a training log. Whenever you're in the gym, bring your notebook with you. Write down all your workouts. You can find a couple pages in there, write down some goals, write your goals right up in that notebook. Whenever you're going through any kind of ups and downs, peaks and valleys with your motivation and stuff like that, turn to that notebook, get a clean page, write down why you are feeling the way that you're feeling. Okay, identify it, identify the problem, and see if there's a solution. For some people, it's a matter of just maybe changing up your routine. Maybe it's a matter of approaching your nutrition if you're getting bored with the way that you're eating. Maybe changing the way that you eat, maybe being more flexible about changing food items, making sure that you're allowing yourself freedom by having your flexible dieting, having your cheat meals and stuff like that. Sometimes it could mean to change your environment. So things like that can help you to just revamp, just to refresh. We can't do the same thing over and over again. You know what I mean? So be okay with identifying the problem and see if you can come up with a solution as to why you're feeling the way you do. Reevaluate your goals. See if anything needs tweaking. Along this path of goal setting, along this path of trying to stay disciplined and trying to do what you have to do, you're going to find that maybe this isn't working. Maybe this is not what I really want. What I really want to do is this instead. Being okay with abandoning a goal or just revamping that goal is a little bit of something that can spark some new interest for you. So reevaluate your goals. See if there is anything that you can change to make it more interesting for yourself. So instead of trying to lose 10 pounds, hey, maybe you can go train for a 5K. Maybe you can go, for those of you that are adventurous, go on and try to do a triathlon. Good luck with that, because that's not my kind of thing. I ain't swimming and doing that, I don't know. But, some of you love that, and I love people that love that kind of stuff. So, looking at something else that can ignite your fire can help you to get over that motivational funk. Change up your plan. And we just kind of touched on this. Change up your plan. Don't be afraid to spice it up. Variety is the spice of life. Okay. So when it comes to program design and my clients, I do things in cycles. I call them cycles. So a cycle is 2 weeks, or a cycle can be 4 weeks. And when depending on the person's goals, I might change their plan every 2 weeks. I might change their plan in 4 weeks if it's a really challenging plan that I want them to stay on. Change it up. Don't change it up every day to the point to whereas you got so much variety going on that you can't get consistent with your workouts and see consistent progress. I do believe in keeping things consistent, let's say over a 2-week period, maybe throwing in a couple of exercises here and there in the gym to give you more challenge. But don't be afraid to change up your plans. I think that people who tend to work out on their own, they'll find workouts online or something like that, and they'll do that workout for 6 months. And it's man, I would be bored with that, so don't be afraid to change it up. And same with your nutrition as well. Change things up, change the food items that if you typically eat salmon every day, change it up, have something else, have some beef, or, go find halibut, or I don't know, some black cod, something, have fun with it. So change up your plan. Variety is the spice of life, and be more open and less strict with yourself in that kind of fashion. The next point, consider hiring a coach or a trainer to motivate and push you. And they're there to also keep you accountable. And this doesn't have to be a long-term commitment. It could just be something to just add some focus and variety for you by a person who is trained to do this, who does this on a daily basis. I cannot tell you how many times I've had people come to me like, Roxy, I'm stuck. I don't really feel like going to the gym anymore. I don't know what to do when I get there. What I'm doing right now, it's not working, and please just help me. And it's my job as a coach to give them that. So if it's in your budget, consider it. Nowadays with online coaching, you can work with someone who's not even in your area. I have clients in 5 different countries, okay? I have touched base on pretty much almost 5 continents or so. So let's get out there. Did I say 5 continents? I meant 5 countries and 3 continents. Sorry. Yeah, 3 continents. I'm trying to count in my head. I'm out of it. Don't pay me no mind. So anyway, be very open to it if it's in your budget. And then there are some out there who do membership sites, inner circles and stuff like that. I have one as well. You can check it out in the showcase. You can get diets and training programs and things that just get you to be pushed. And that's another thing that can help you to get out of a funk. And for those of you who may not be interested in all of that, find an accountability buddy or a workout partner. Find someone who you can report into, whom you can say, hey, all right, I'm hitting the gym 3 times a week. This is what I'm doing when I get there. Do you mind if I can email you just so that way you make sure that I stay on track and I'm answering to someone else? It works wonders. Your accountability buddy doesn't have to be someone that's training with you. Your workout partner, of course, has to be there with your workouts, or not even really if you guys just confer about, hey, this is what we're going to do at the gym today. Maybe y'all live in different cities or something like that. You both go and then you report into each other. Still like an accountability buddy. But still, the accountability buddy does not have to even be someone that is in your presence. And it's a more affordable option because it would be free, of course, than hiring a coach or a trainer. So being open to taking that kind of step, I think is really important. Now, there is one thing I will say about workout partners. And I'm the type of person, I really don't like working out with anybody. I like to work out by myself. I don't even like personally working out with a personal trainer. I have a coach. My coach is Kim Odo, and Kim, he oversees things for me in the way that I oversee things with my clients. I tell them what to do with their workouts. I do my own workouts actually with Kim. He gave me workouts, but I told him they're boring and I'm not doing them. But anyway, and he yelled at me, but that's it. That's my own thing. But I like to train like a beast. But yeah, the thing about workout partners is try to find someone that is on your level. It's hard to work out with someone who isn't as strong as you. If you work with someone who is stronger than you and willing to accommodate, then that's great. But don't always go backwards if you don't have to. Try to find someone who's kind of around where you are in your fitness journey, or rather in your fitness levels. So these 6 points are my top 6 to help you to move past that valley, that that low point. So whatever you can do to pull yourself through, do it, but don't you ever give up. Don't give up. Giving up is easy. It's easy to quit. But if it's important to you, if that goal is relevant to you, honey, you're not going to get off the path. You're going to find a way to definitely make it work for you. And my next point, if you are in a motivational funk, sometimes that is an indication that you actually need to take a break, step away, step back, take the intensity down. Guys, it is okay to stop. Now, notice I said stop. I didn't say quit. It's okay to stop. It is okay to allow yourself a moment where you're not obsessing about your food and your clothes and how you look and getting to the gym. You just want to be normal again. Just take a break. When you're starting to feel that low point, just step out. Consider doing a deload for like a week or 2. Now, what is a deload? Deloading can mean several things. For some people, that means to completely stop being in the gym and going back in after a certain amount of time. Let's say the cutoff for you, a complete deload break, is 1 week. You're going to find yourself back in the gym after that week. Got to get back in there. You cannot not show up. Okay. If you decide to do a 2-week complete deload, 2 weeks is done. Boom. It's like spring break in school. You got to be back in that seat Monday morning. So if you do a complete break, make sure it has an end date and that you get back into the saddle. Now, for some people, and what I personally like to do for a deload and what I do for my clients is we just take down the intensity and the frequency in the gym. So if they're training 5 days a week, I might take it down to 3 days a week. Or for some people, I might even take it down to 2 days. I rarely do 2 days, honestly, but I'll take it down to about 3 days. And in that 3 days, we'll probably do like an upper body, a lower body, and a total body type of workout. And I'll take down the intensity in the gym so they're not having to focus on beating numbers and being their best and all this stuff. It's just to keep your strength levels pretty constant. So you can do that for about a week or 2 weeks. Just listen to your body and see how you feel. I guarantee you by the end of that time period, and usually by the end of 2 weeks for sure, you're gonna feel ready to go again. So allow yourself a chance to take a break. Find a different type of workout or activity to break up the monotony. The gym for some people can be boring. Quite honestly, I love it, I do. But I also like to break up the monotony by going to Bikram yoga, or I will go to ballet class. So finding things that will awaken you in a new way could help, especially during that deload time. Let's say you decide to hit the gym maybe twice or 3 times a week. So instead of stopping completely, you can throw in a Zumba class or Pilates or spin or whatever, something that's just completely different than what you typically do, just to throw that fresh meat on the grill. The next step, not only would you need to take a training break, but take a diet break. Diet breaks are very important, especially for those of you that are doing fat loss. You cannot keep fat loss, deficit for weeks and weeks and months on end without taking a break. At some point, you're gonna hit a plateau. And when and if you do, taking a dietary break where you eat at maintenance during this time, or maybe a little bit more, and you're maybe a little bit more free on your plan, and you're not trying to go too crazy with being free, not eating everything in sight. You're still keeping somewhat of a control, but eating at maintenance for that 2-week period or so, 1 or 2 weeks, that will give you some refreshed mindsets and approaches to your nutrition as well. And if you've hit a plateau, particularly when it comes to fat loss, then once you get back into your fat loss phase again, so if you're eating at maintenance for your weight, you can use equations and stuff like that to figure that out. Just by taking a surplus, just by taking a deficit off of that, let's say if you take just 200, 250 calories off of that, going back into your training, you're going to start losing again. So allow yourself to take a dietary break as well during this deloading time. Another thing that I like to do when I just need to find some motivation and just like refresh, honey, I go to a different gym. I have 3 different gym memberships. It's quite excessive, I know. I don't use them all. I pretty much go to Equinox mostly, which is over here by me in LA. And I also have a membership at Gold's Venice. I also have a membership at 24 Hour Fitness. I go down to Golds when I really need that like hardcore, like, yeah, I'm like contest mode and I'm grunting and screaming. Well, not screaming, but definitely grunting and stuff like that in my workouts. I do that at Equinox too, but they just look at me like I'm crazy. So, but I love that gym because it's nice and it's got, you know, jacuzzi and all this other stuff. So it's there. It's my normal regular gym, but sometimes I'll go down to Gold's. And when I really want to get away, then I'll go to 24 Hour Fitness. And they have great locations around, so I mostly have it when I travel. But being able to switch my environments up whenever I feel like it has been great. Some of you belong to 24. Some of you may belong to LA Fitness, and if you can get into any location, depending on your contract, you can get into any location. So just going to a different location gives you that like change of scenery, and it gives you the opportunity to just refresh your mind. And the final point that we'll make is allowing proper time to recover and make sure that all of this stuff at the end of the day does fit your lifestyle. Proper time to recover. That means don't train 7 days a week, okay? 7 days a week of training is like excessive. It's really, I mean, even in the throes of contest prep, like towards the end of your prep, you might be in the gym 7 days. You may not be doing weights 7 days, but maybe you have a day where you go in there and just do cardio, whatever. Okay, you're a competitor, so that's normal, especially towards the end. But for the rest of you guys, 7 days a week in the gym is it's a lot. It's a lot for anyone. So make sure that you do allow yourself proper time to recover. Your body does not grow in the gym. Your body grows at rest, okay? So taking maybe 1 day off, maybe even 2 days off. When you come off of your deload period, you definitely want to see if you can make that adjustment and just see how you feel. And I guarantee you'll start to feel refreshed once again, and you'll be ready to rock and roll right where you started. So those are my basic tips for you. And I'm gonna go ahead and put my camera back on. And so those are my basic tips. You know, finding that discipline, setting goals, following that 90-10 rule, finding that motivation when you fall off. If you can get those as a part of just your everyday thing and what you do, you're gonna start seeing your goals become your reality. So let's go ahead. We are on perfect timing right now. We've got about questions. We're having a technical glitch here. Hold on 1 second. Man. Are we going here? I am live here on screen, and now my Q&A doesn't work because that is how life is when you need it, isn't it? Questions. There they are. Anyway, if you guys have any questions, now is the perfect time to ask them. And we don't have any. Okay. All right. All right, guys. I don't have any questions here from anybody, so I guess I was pretty thorough in what I had to say, which is, I guess, a good thing. But any of you, if you have any questions coming up at any point, just email me. I'm here all the time. Like when I say here, I mean I'm online. I'm online all the time, and Facebook is pretty much the easiest way that you can reach me. For those of you that are a part of my inner circle, you know that you can come in, you can go ahead and leave your feedback or any questions that you have in the little chat box that we have on our site. And you can also send me a PM. I'll give you all my email as well, info@rockstarfitness.com, ROXSTAR fitness.com, all one word. And you can go ahead and email me questions, and I will definitely answer things as I'm able to get to them. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed this, and if there are no questions, which there doesn't seem to be any today, which is fine, you don't have to ask anything, then I will go ahead and let you all go for today. So I hope you enjoyed this broadcast and look forward to a couple more, because I love doing this kind of stuff, and I look forward to connecting to you soon. Bye, guys.